On your signal. Okay. All right, meeting call to order. It's 18:34. Let's do the roll call of the members. So Perez isn't here, Borman is here, Knickerbocker's here. Mr. Gutierrez has resigned. Chad is in Ohio, he's not here. Gary's here.
Chris is not here.
Chris is not here.
Cole's not here.
Nicole's not here. Judy's not here. Catherine's here. Monique's here. Pedro's absent. Ed is here. We have quorum. Okay, please rise for pledge of allegiance in a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sounds. Please take your seats. Public comments. Got it. Anyone? Public comments?
No,
No?
Yeah.
Public comments?
I have a couple of comments. I just wanted to recognize and thank VC Vice Chair Borman for an expertly ran special call meeting. It was extremely cordial and collaborative, so thank you, Larry.
Oh,
Thank you.
good job. Thanks, Larry.
It doesn't have to. Thank you.
I second that.
That's right. Second for a cordial and kind meeting. Fantastic. All right. Order of business, deferrals, additions, deletions.
I know Gary, you wanted to see about something with the parade. I know that's kind of already discussed in the old business at 7A, so if that's. I don't think there's any. We can make.
All right, minutes. Very much.
Motion to approve.
Well, please take time to review the minutes first.
No, I did. I read. I read.
Yeah, yeah.
Much substance.
Gary, you had a motion to approve the minutes. All right, motion
Second.
approve the minutes from Mr. Cardinal, secondary, Mr. Knickerbocker. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the minutes. Okay, old business, Veterans Parade, after action, 3 up, 3 down. 3 things we did good, 3 things we did down. I would say our Grand Marshal was fantastic.
Yes.
His speech at the end of the ceremony was superb. And I really also want to thank Pedro Piallo for getting the food with the cookies. That sandwich and that cookie was delicious. They were delicious. Right? They were cookies that was ridiculous.
I ate the last piece of cookie.
I mean, yeah, it was
This
really,
afternoon.
really good. And also all the volunteers, Kiki and her announcing was awesome, you know. And everything you guys did to line up everything, and like all our plans, they all fail upon first contact, you know. There was a bunch of people showed up that we didn't expect. So it was amazing how you guys were able to adapt and adjust and keep the thing going, keep the flow going pretty darn good considering all the other folks that showed up and things like that. Really, I thought the weather was perfect, you know, the announcement was perfect to control the crowd, which just seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. was fantastic. The golf cart contest thing, which was inspired by Catherine because she drove her a golf cart here, was fantastic. The trophy passing out thing was fantastic, which Larry had the idea about the trophies, and that was great. They loved it. All right, so those are my positives. Anybody else has any other positives to add?
No, I agree. I noticed that we had a larger audience this year than last.
Yes,
Yes,
A lot of people spaced out,
yes.
all even around
hmm
when we turned.
I don't know, maybe they advertised it better. I'm not sure what happened. It just seemed we had a lot more people, a lot more folks stuck around, and it was fantastic.
I did spread out a lot of the flyers.
Yeah. And okay, things we can improve. I was happy to see you guys got another porta john instead of just two porta johns, so it's three
It was
porta
long.
johns. And I have to say,
But we had it after about like half.
I have to say, we may need a fourth porta john. Yeah,
Well-
you know, I mean,
Before you go, as a positive, I do want to say, with Isle being out of town, she's usually point A, B, and C for, day of, bossing. I really do appreciate all the volunteer work that was done. Kathy, Cohen, everyone, the family. You guys were killer on the morning, so I want to personally thank you all for, before the event, during, after, making sure everything was taken care of and cleaned up. It was like smooth as butter to me, which was, at 9:30 I put my cameras on, so it was really, we needed the hands, and you guys really delivered. So I want to thank you.
I just didn't recognize you, looked like a tourist.
No, I was running around. I did good 5 miles of up and down the street and
Yeah.
photos. And it was really awesome. So thank you all.
I gotta tell you, something you provided us that IO did, which was the minute by minute, hour by hour breakdown of what had to happen. Specified tasks. That was very, very
Yeah, and
good.
she
With the
did-
maps and stuff like that.
And she was
So-
still communicating with us, while she was in an entirely different continent. So we have to, tip our hats to her. She's not here. She's enjoying her evening,
Yeah, it's nice.
preparing for another big event, which we all know about. And so, yeah, big thank you to
Yes.
like everyone in this room, like big thank you. And
Yeah.
Julie.
Yes, thank you very much. Your family has been fantastic.
And you did good too, man.
We figured it out. We got it done.
We had
No, I think
everything,
it-
we had we weren't missing any equipment, so.
Yeah.
Everything was there, everything.
Yeah, it was perfect.
They seem to run smooth. But I really think as Kyle laid down the plan really well. And yeah, we had to, of course, adjust, but when I got here at 7 with Bill to pick up water, we had a plan. We knew what everybody had to be. We knew where to
We
stage
pick
it.
up trucks with water, with
No, it
three
was-
places,
Yeah.
drop the water.
And I know you
We
guys.
all
had
went
the
back
meeting-
and picked it up.
You guys had the meeting, we had the meeting when I was out of town. Remember, so I was out of town and Bill was out of town and then I went out, so it was like this really, I think.
Yeah, but you did a good
Awesome.
job
No,
of
it was-
briefing us on what needed to be
Yeah.
done.
And it was a well-communicated plan because she had written it down
Yes.
and then gave it to us to look at. And we all had copies of it. We all printed it out. And that's really the key is the communicated plan while, get executed. But fantastic to everybody.
I didn't see fire. Did the fire ever show up?
I saw them leaving. I don't know at what point they entered the parade,
Fine.
but I saw one fire truck leaving. I happened to be standing next to Kat and I'm like, where did they come from?
Yeah.
Uh,
in the opposite direction.
Yeah, but they were coming out like from the end of the parade line. They were coming out of whatever, like.
There's a big fire.
I have a question for Jonathan.
7 and we never saw them.
I
I have a question for Jonathan.
Yeah.
And bang.
Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
how many groups actually showed up this year and how many last year? In band, total organizations.
It was about 50.
Yeah,
Do you have an
Claims
increase
was
this year?
About
50,
50,
and that wasn't,
51.
but not individual, like I can count individually the dignitaries. We had, American high school that showed up and they were not registered, no matter what they say,
I
they
know.
were not registered. And they gave me a really hard time because they didn't want to be behind HML. And,
You did a great job,
School
handling
library.
everybody. You had everything organized out there. It was
Thank
appreciated.
you. I just wanna give a big shout out to the student volunteers.
Yeah.
They were
They did.
phenomenal, and I made sure to let their sponsor know that the sponsor at Goldman, because we did have student volunteers from Miami Lakes Educational Center. But the one that I'm in contact with is at Goldman, and they were thinking on their feet, you know, if there was anything going on at registration, there was any kind of confusion. The kids came up with like they had excellent problem solving skills. So, you know, I don't think teenagers get a lot of credit all the time. They did amazing. So,
That was through Minnesota, right? Maybe?
Minnesota.
They were a great bunch of kids, well polite. They were eager to help. And
Yeah.
it was, you could see the enthusiasm and it was good.
Yeah,
It
no
was
matter
good.
what we sent them, they were like, okay, let's do it. You know, I had plenty of volunteers, but they were wonderful. And, you know, I went before the parade took off. I went to each one of them because I had given like section leaders, I had assigned section leaders, like make sure that everybody is in the position that they're supposed to be. And they did a very thorough, job in making sure that everyone was lined up correctly. If there was anybody missing, they came up to me, they let me know.
Who coordinates the letters for them so they get credit for their community hours?
I'll do. Well, I communicated with Jonathan about, who was present and who volunteered, and then Jonathan will take it from there.
Yeah, we have our list, so we're gonna get them the hours and some, I don't know if the thank you certificates may have been in reference to like any involved party, but. you
I
know,
think I wanted, for thank you certificates, I'm looking at like
for
large
attendees.
groups, or maybe not participants in parade, but those volunteers that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be taking care of planning some letter. On staff behalf, on the community behalf, however we wanna,
Right,
some combination.
yeah, committees, committee half, it's just whatever's faster, I can sign them pretty quick.
Yeah, so I don't know, back to your original question, I don't have that exact number, but. To me, maybe it's because I was very present taking photos, it felt like a lot. I couldn't tell you the number of, you know, exact groups, what, you know. If individual elected officials counted individually last year or this year, or as a bunch this year or last year, so I don't, you know, that's maybe an interesting way to, do like a cross tabulation of what changed, but. It felt busy, in a good way,
Yes. Yeah, I thought there's-
and, any negatives, sorry, back to the negatives.
Yeah, one more quarter done.
Well, the interesting thing is they blocked off every single crossing coming down 67th. Okay, well, Judy had two people in her truck, so she got out and moved the cone. I just ran over the cone
Yeah,
because I couldn't get
Yeah,
across because they blocked everything off and they didn't leave enough room that you could in fact turn and cross traffic.
yeah, they should probably do that, just maybe.
They need to find some
well,
place,
I know,
because some of us had to get here
yeah.
and coming south, there was no way to get here.
I know, maybe like last year, it may have been a timing issue when we got to it. We had a big enough gap to get through to turn left into the registration area,
Right,
going north, of course. And last year, there was an officer that was able to move the cone, like they were just stationed there, so I don't know if it was the time we got there. If there was a different set of duties, like, I don't know, but.
Oh, I mean, but at
Coordinated.
6:45, they had every crossing closed with cones. And coming south, there was no way to turn left without going through the
What we were
cones.
told is that no one was gonna be coming to the event on 6/7, everybody was gonna go through the back.
Hmm.
And that's why 6/7 is always blocked off, it's every year.
Ah,
But Bill brought up a good point.
but I couldn't get here without coming south and going. I guess I could have turned at the light up at Miami, like Lakeland Thorn,
yeah.
that would have been.
No, that's.
Bill brought up a good point. He mentioned about sending a letter or something out to acknowledgement to the students. I think we need to do the same thing with our sponsors, Fred Cerner with the cars and the other, whoever else sponsored us, whoever donated the water, whatever, either on letterhead or something, not just from the town, but from the Veterans Committee. Is that something we can do though?
Yeah, In fact, I have the certificate stock and I can print those out. I already have one done up actually for.
No, I'm sure we could, use
Yeah.
a letter, well, we're down, we don't have a.
I just kind of want to know who are the big organizations that donated stuff besides the Autumn Mall, who else?
Well, you got,
Mid Warrior did the hydration.
With a Warrior.
I can send you the list of the sponsors.
Cool.
Yeah,
Do that. Send me the
yeah,
list of sponsors.
the coffee and everything. that
Yeah, we
was
have,
there in the
we
morning.
recognize
That
6
was-
sponsors.
Vicky Bakery.
Vicky
Vicky
Bakery, Bakery, and then
The sandwiches that
the
come.
sandwiches came from
Sergio.
Sergio's.
Sergio.
One thing that Larry and I had discussed, I had sent out the language for a letter to be signed by the mayor, to be sent out as like a proper
Invitation.
invitation. You know, I always think of ways that I can do better. The message, it didn't go further than my email to the mayor's office. I could have followed up on that, so, you know, to that extent. Just pounding the inbox next time around, but,
That's all right. I think it turned out well.
Well, the VIP list, we kind of, we've had much better turnout with VIPs before, that senators, a lot of the other politicians want to come, and this year we didn't, and
We had
Possibly.
Representative Tom Fabrice.
some comes at a lot of events, but I mean, I'm talking about the other, Marco Rubio could have been, there's a lot of people that could, had they received a proper invitation, they may have came, but they
Yeah.
didn't.
Remember, it
Because
was
next
election-
year, we'll just do it
it
right.
was an election too, so.
Yeah, sure, they would have loved, they would have loved to have been here.
Right, especially in election year, of course.
Right.
I was in contact with Via Pilar's office with some other things, and I said, well, the parade, when is it?
Exactly, they don't know, they need to put it on their
Oh,
calendar,
I wish-
6-8 weeks.
I wish I
ahead.
had known.
Yeah.
Or we should tell them, when we set up our schedule, we should send them a notice and say, hey.
and we
we're gonna
do.
Do this on such and such a date, and this
Sure,
on such and
put
such.
a proper invitation.
And let them,
Yeah,
put-
yeah,
letterhead.
it has to be
and let their chief of staff put it on their calendar.
an official invitation.
And an official invitation on letterhead is a lot more effective in doing this type of things.
We could do that in like January or February and tell them, this is the schedule, you're all invited.
Mhm.
One left.
No, I know. I think that's a great idea, because, if we give them the early calendar.
We give them the early calendar and we tell them,
Their
hey,
A pops it on the calendar. Trust me, it's not the congressman or whoever who's filling his calendar. It's somebody in his office filling his
Anyway,
calendar.
yeah,
yeah, senior
And,
chief of staff, whoever.
that's what I was.
I think I should interview a couple of the VRPs personally and find out what affects them the best, maybe a combination of things.
I always find that they have certain folks that do those things. All right.
And,
But those are all great ideas. So I think, give me the list of those sponsors. I'll crank out the certificates and, I have the certificate stock and all that good jazz, and I'll crank those out. Sign them. Put some words of thank you, and we'll hand them out. Okay,
Before you finish,
yes,
couple things I want
go ahead.
to touch base. So, first, my children were honored to, say the pledge, and we're working on the national anthem for next year.
All right.
Yeah, because she has a nice voice. Corrections brought tons more stuff that we thought they were gonna bring, so we're super happy with that.
Yeah.
Very thankful for that, because they kind of filled in a lot of the stuff that we didn't have. Even though I was able to get the military car at the end, but, and another car that showed up, and we had a couple of things.
Yeah, the Winter Warriors, did you guys have bring all the military vehicles? That was pretty
That
cool.
was a
And
surprise.
then I had the Marines
That was
bring in
great,
one
this
guy.
vehicles.
Yeah.
Love that.
So we had like 5 tactical vehicles, bunch of young Marines sitting in the back of one. It was funny. We had a good time.
But we were ready, the honor I was ready to present again at the end, but we're
I
very
had the
happy
young
that the
Marines,
young
yeah,
Marines
they-
did it.
yeah.
And encourage them to do it.
Yeah.
The one complaint, I don't know if anybody else got anything else, but the one complaint that we did receive was, there was a town staff person that was, blocking the, spectators at the on Main Street. And they were asked to move, and the person was moving, but through a little bit of investigation, it wasn't a staff member, it's, actually a committee member from the public safety, and that will be addressed at, their meeting.
Oh, okay. All right.
I talked to Nancy about that one.
Yeah, and as far as, again, as far as the work, we didn't get any like official complaints, so
She was funny as hell.
publicly non-issue, internally.
Nancy comes to me,
we'll
she
just
goes,
take care of
we
it.
gotta get rid of
Yeah,
that band, they're out.
group that
next
was
year."
there.
He went wild on me. This band is making too much noise. I can't hear the people trying to register. They're out.
And then last note, I think the route. You know, I know you've had your.
At some point, the route's gonna have to get bigger.
Yeah,
Well, I think so. A lot of the crowding is naturally around the stage on Main Street and 67th, and then at at Town Hall right out here. Side note on this side note, the attendance at the main stage here, I feel like was way better than it has been in the past. Like people stayed around more.
Yes.
There was like a
Yes.
specific like town hall spectator group that lingered and had fun. So, but
I
that
think
being
Kiki
said-
made an announcement to stay around for the closing ceremony,
Yeah.
and I think that helped.
And so what I think it happened is it kind of created two nodes of attendance where it was main stage 67th and town hall stage. And I feel like along the route, it kind of just naturally thins out. We should probably look at ways of getting more. Maybe it's spectator zones or, you know, however we can compel people to, I know we had bleachers in years past. I don't know if there's any gravity that bleachers actually have into like spreading people out. But, you know, something to think of, I think, more people, but it's still kind of, you know, once you get to CVS, it's like nobody's really.
Yeah, there's nobody there, I just, yeah.
And then I can imagine the parade participants as they're making that corner north, making that bend up to then go west on Main Street, it's kind of like empty. They're just practicing their songs instead of actually performing. And then when they get to Main Street, they go to town hall, then it picks up again. So not a complaint, but just a note on the nature of the route.
One of the things, make sure that we send out the announcement, the invitation. To tell prospective participants. You must register, you must be registered. And those registering will be based on time of registration. Will be placed on the respective units and in the proper order that they are. And if you don't register, then you're close to the end of the line. And to avoid some of this problem, like.
So when
the
you
American.
prospective participants mean. We email participants from years past.
Yeah.
Hey, it's opened up again
But
and it
just
kind
let
of
them
that,
know
yeah,
that
first come, first served.
it kind of entice them to register early. The other thing is no throwing of candies from vehicles.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Know what?
I got hit on the knee.
Throwing
I can
candy.
show you.
Yeah.
If
Throwing
it's a
candy.
kid,
Throwing
bend
candy?
down to get it. Hit him in the eye, get somebody in the eye,
I agree.
you're gonna be in trouble.
That was brought up for last year's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we never used to, we didn't allow.
Louis Colazo.
This year, we just.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah, they were doing that last year.
Yeah,
I know who hit you,
Multiple
I know. who hit you.
No, no, that should be said prior to, like, hand out candy and not
Yeah,
throw
they
it.
can walk around and hand it out,
Yeah.
put it in little bags or whatever.
Yeah.
typically it'll-
Sounds right. That makes sense, like the flag, you know. it's right.
I mean, I was standing with someone that, oh, someone right on my knee.
Yeah, there was some segment on near the main stage, on Main
They
Street,
got real quick.
that I was like.
So I got you.
Something at registration,
Yeah.
because they all have to come in, so
So I
even if
did get
they
you.
miss that part when they're registering online, they have
Mm,
still
that's
have to
such a
check
fire.
in at registration, maybe have sign or just remind them, hey, if you're.
Hand out.
But if I had
You
that-
gotta-
Yeah, that was painful.
Maybe a more like
The
explicit,
volunteers can help distribute the candy.
something in the registration that is along the lines of, if you're giving out things, make sure you're not throwing.
But that
it,
should
make
be
sure-
part of also the invitation to the
Registration,
participants, you know, and to VIPs.
Or like the pre,
know.
the day before email. kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Another thing we're missing at this parade is normally, traditionally, our Veterans Committee chairperson rides in a car. This year he walked.
yeah, but I don't care about
That's-
that,
but
right?
that-
Because a
yeah.
lot of times we use the car for the elderly affairs committee.
We got plenty of
Last
cars.
year-
Fred gave us plenty of cars.
Last year, I let them use the elderly affairs, I think.
Well,
it's
the
same
idea
thing.
being that if you were to bring there and you were to bring your significant other or your family members or whatever.
She walked
they
with
could
me.
ride in the parade.
She, yeah. she was-
I think there was
That's
like
the
a,
purpose of it. And it honors, it's an honor to us to have you be honored there because, you know, we're your team. We want to see it in the front of.
No,
our
no, I appreciate that, but I mean, if we don't have enough vehicles in the elderly affairs,
You have
needs one,
plenty
I'm
of
gonna
I
give
think
it to
there-
the elderly.
no, there were
Fred
plenty,
gave
I
15
think the
vehicles.
understanding or or misunderstanding perhaps, was that the veterans would be in the float.
Yeah.
And so that there was like, okay, they're in the float, there's no need for a vehicle. I don't know if.
Well, I
That
mean,
was
one
the
year,
thing, but-
Fred asked me,
Mhm.
because the Zonta folks did not have a vehicle.
This
Yeah.
year
It was for
or last,
last year.
He gave us 15 vehicles.
And
this year.
so,
We're gonna
and
get
then,
more.
so this year, someone asked me, I forget what, about the old affairs having it. So if we had enough, I didn't know.
We had more than enough. We
Oh,
had
did we?
15. And we could have had more. Fred said he was giving his plan.
yeah, we kind of. Yeah, we had elderly, cultural affairs indicated they would come, I don't think they did. And then we also print for education advisory board, which they also didn't show up, there was not a lot of, eagerness, I'll say, from the committees, which is weird, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
And the reason I
More
say this is,
vehicles.
last year, Mike Coot, a couple of years ago, when Mike Coot was the chair, his mother, who was very ill,
Yeah.
she rode with Mike in the parade, and that was like a highlight. It was like the last big thing she did in her life. And she was so proud of Mike out there. And it was just a great thing.
Yeah.
We.
No, I appreciate
It's
it.
good to make
That's
moments like
that's
that.
really fantastic.
I'll say something about the committees, special needs was telling me that they didn't have a car to ride in, so I don't know how that works with the cars, but they would have come out if they had been offered a car.
Who was that?
Special needs.
Special needs.
I had a meeting yesterday with them and they were saying that.
Okay, so we need to coordinate next year with all the committees
Yes.
that their chairs are invited, and if they need a car, let us know. We can arrange that. Or if our sponsor, Fred. gives
I
us-
think it was two-pronged, it was, so we had 15 vehicles, and then once they were, picked up by confirmed elected or, confirmed elected.
Yeah, because we needed their own
locally or not,
driver, everybody had. a
And
driver.
then it was opened up to committees afterwards on a first come, first serve. So they should have gotten that email. I think I'll follow up with Isle to make sure.
Okay, so you guys are already pushing out the information.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we did open it up to the committees because Elderly Affairs had.
yeah, they were there.
I just, we'll double check on the special needs one.
I didn't know this, Mr. Senior, Mrs. Senior Miami Lakes.
There wasn't a pageant this year.
There wasn't a pageant.
No, that was a big one.
The other thing is, looking forward, dressing room for the mascot, sports mascot.
Oh, yeah.
And Star Wars, we've been fortunate that we've been able to get something from the grounds, but that's because the storefront had closed and we got there. But if it isn't available, we need a fallback location. Whether that be.
Not even a fallback. We should have the grants be the fallback.
Yeah,
Like, we should be committing to
they should have like a constant commitment every year. This is not us. We've been doing this for 45 years.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, I meant not like, we're not compelling the grants. I meant more like we should be providing maybe a portable, air conditioned tent, like, I don't know, some
Right,
sort of
right,
something.
yeah, something.
Yeah, and then the grants would be like, that would be the fallback.
All right.
So thank you. Thank you. That was
Right.
perfect.
Anything else? Okay, let's move on to 7B, the reindeer run update. I was at the subcommittee meeting. Right now we have $43,500 in commitments and actual money was given.
Wow, it's an excellent job.
Yeah, Judy has asked for everyone to try to get 2 sponsors, even no matter, a little bit of the amount. I got my 2, so I made my quotas. If everybody else can get, 1 or 2 sponsors, that'll be fantastic. That way, we can increase the amount. We're gonna have like a little fun zone, and in that fun zone, we're gonna have, I think we're gonna do laser tag. And, we had a laser tag during the mental health task force.
That was fun.
Fall
Kids
festival.
had fun.
The kids went crazy over
Yeah.
it, and it works in the daytime. I don't know how to do it, but it works in the daytime. It's like and the kids just loved it. And so I said, and it wasn't expensive. It was like $500 for 5 hours, $100 an hour,
Yeah.
and it was free. So every kid, and then we had parents running around playing it. And so it'll be something for them to do either right after or before or whatever heck they want to do, or during if they're not running and stuff like that. Do you remember anything else from the subcommittee meeting besides that need to be passed on?
No, it was just us going back and forth, making sure our lists were matching with Judy's, because again, since Isle was out, we, to the best of our ability, had a part-time, one of our part-timers was keeping our sponsor tracker up to date. And so, yeah, it's kind of.
And oh, and I took a look at the sample metal and ribbons. They look fantastic. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen them. Especially the one with antlers. Your idea, Larry? It is so darn cool. I thought it was gonna be kind of like, hokey and jokey, but it actually looks really cool. And so those are the red ones are the ones everybody gets. All participants get a red ribbon with a medal, and then of course, first place gets gold, second place gets silver, third place gets bronze in their age groups. And they all have this, and then that's the medal. That's pretty cool. The antlers, that looks really cool.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah. And on the ribbons, can you enlarge one so we can take a better look?
Yeah, and a little cherry logo.
We have all the emblems, we have all the service emblems, which I asked and they were able to do, and it's gonna look fantastic.
I mean, they won't look this sharp out of print, but it looks less.
You'll be able to distinguish them.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the army looks
I think.
green.
I
It
think Larry,
makes a little.
I think like
It doesn't-
antlers make it look really badass, that metal. It's not just a circle now, it looks like it's a shield. All right, so that's basically the updates, but Judy's doing a fantastic job. She's just incredible.
Yeah, I'll send out the updated flyer, because we've been, again, getting all our sponsors back in order, back in alignment, so updated logos, updated recognitions. I'll email that, and I'll email that like generic, hey, please participate, here are photos from last year, here's a video from last year, that beautiful outreach message, so I'll make sure I send that out. Okay.
There you go. I actually have after the reply, it's gonna be so just take one, pass it around. Fairly different. Take a few. Take around that way.
25 years.
Yeah, take
I
some.
need two of them, so I can find two stories.
Can't wait to see my competition this year. You guys gonna be in or what?
No, I'll be at Army dates.
Yeah, you're gonna be there. I need some competition.
You're the only one in your age group. You're gonna win the gold.
They had some right Olympics last year. I beat them.
Yeah,
And you tripped them.
And even more
I'll take one,
updated.
because I spread them around.
You took his page. Good job, Larry. All right, are we ever gonna do the family presentation for the Veterans Family Scholarship?
Yeah, I sent out another email, about 2 weeks
Even if we
ago.
only have one person, one family member.
No, I mean,
I have a question on that scholarship. Are the same people that applied last year, are they gonna be allowed to apply again?
No, they're
no,
not.
that was already,
Yeah, we voted on that.
We did?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. we
Yes.
voted. I think it was like a 2 or 3 year, I forget, ineligibility or something like that.
one and done. Really, every response has sort of been at the 5K this year is like the only time all the alignment is gonna happen, because, I mean, one, we don't have any more council meetings until swearing in ceremony on December 10th, but basically December 14th.
So think we should do the presentation there, the check presentation? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think that's gonna be dedicated to the swearing in. I don't think we'll.
Repeat what you were just saying, because I kind of got sidetracked.
So we don't have there's no council meeting
Right.
this for the rest of the year, because they don't meet in December. And, we don't have a,
Mayor.
we don't have a mayor.
We don't have a mayor, we don't have a vice
We have
mayor.
all new
Yeah.
councilmen coming in. We have a new mayor.
So that's just like.
Isabella's running the government right now.
No, but, yeah, they were all indicating, December 14th, So, I mean, that's kind of what I had brought that up at the very beginning, I think, you know, towards the end, hey, thank you all for coming, this is, you know, the very first class that all the money last year was raised, help support, and they come out and they do that sort of thing.
So do it at the,
Yeah.
that'll be great. Let's do that. Yeah, I'll bring the big old fake check.
And I will say next year it could be earlier in theory because we were only able to cut the check because the scholarship was like decided on
Right.
relatively late.
Yes.
And then we had an issue with a vendor that cut from the total, so we had to recalculate and
Right,
reissue
right.
and all that. So in theory, it'd be earlier and we wouldn't run out of council meetings to have options with.
Okay,
But,
so we got a plan for December 14th. All right, I'll bring that stuff and we can do it.
Actually, it sounds like that's a good plan for an annual time to do.
I think so too.
You know, instead of doing it in front of the council.
Yeah.
Do it at the event.
Well, both, I think both.
Okay, because what that says is, hey, this is what we're doing with your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know we don't know what the final figure.
This is what,
Yeah. right.
no, I'm
No,
talking
no, for
about,
the year before.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about. We get the money this year, next year we give it away.
Now we do it maybe right before the race starts, when all the runners
Right
are there,
before the race starts, when everybody.
when it's there and they're captured
Wait a
audience.
whole year before we give them the money.
Why not?
No, not giving them.
No, not
the
giving
No, no,
ceremony
do
of
the ceremony.
The ceremony. Do the ceremony.
Like
They
there's
obviously need the money before school starts.
They need the money before school starts, but the ceremony,
Yeah.
have them come to the race. Okay, one, they see the race.
The applicant.
Two, the race goers see where the money's going,
100%.
okay?
And then.
And
they
it
spread the word.
becomes a, wow, we did that.
So 2023 fund recipients will be, I guess, honored or, you know, hey, this is where your money's going at the
Are we gonna do
2024
that
rate.
this year, or you saying for next year?
No, we're doing it this year.
This
year.
We're gonna invite the recipients from the.
Yeah,
from the-
Mike's family and,
Yeah,
however else
because-
got it, yeah.
Okay,
And
Because you're putting a face to the race.
Well, I think it's more even for the sponsors. They already got
the
money.
sponsors, you know,
Well,
the
they know what
sponsors
it is,
see
yeah.
it.
So here's where the
race
40
goers-
grand's going.
Yeah, that's a.
This is a
super idea.
This is a great,
I had
this is
no
a
idea
great
that
advertisement
was
for
the-
why we have
Until I
Reindeer
sat
Run.
last year, so.
now, if they were eligible again for the money this year, I know they'd show up.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Well,
I don't know, I mean, I think Mike's not that shallow. I think he's gonna show up because he's a gentleman.
So there was like, you know,
I forgot.
there was a,
again, I will be there.
there was
I
like
think
an
it's a great idea.
excitement in the responses, so people are still excited to be part of it,
Yeah,
to show up.
I think the Carreras will show up. I know they received it. And the
Yeah,
Boy
they
Scouts-
show up to everything, they're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, they'll show up.
Yeah.
So, I want to make a motion that we do the presentation at the
Annually.
beginning, annually, at the beginning of the reindeer run. And anyone second?
I second it.
Seconded by Knickerbocker. Any discussion?
Yeah, who's gonna reach out to the previous winners and ask them to attend?
Jonathan.
Okay. No, I already have them. Yeah.
Now they have a
Yeah,
date
yeah.
certain and they.
I've been
they'll
reaching out
probably-
on a ceremonial.
They know the
basis.
date?
You're gonna contact them and give them all the details?
Yeah.
Okay. But Jonathan, we discussed earlier, is that gonna fall in the timeframe?
It'll be taken care of. Trust me. we have
Yeah,
this-
trust the government.
Trust the-
He's from the government.
I see all the conservatives are there, smiles today, everybody's happy, you know, it's a.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table to approve that the presentation will be annually on the race day, right before the race starts.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's a great idea. Fantastic. All right. QR code markers and stuff like that. I make a motion to table this until after the race, sometime. After the swearing in of the new council members and stuff like that. So that way we can, approach whether or not Town of Miami Lakes is gonna create a historical department. So.
Yeah, the first, so Gary has his page up on the website with the QR code that links to it now. After the
Does it?
designation. Yeah, it's up. I don't know that I can pull it up very easily, but,
You,
I haven't checked, so.
Well-
Maybe we'll find out. Well, tomorrow maybe.
tomorrow we'll check it out when we go to the meeting on Saturday.
so I was out of
Okay.
town for the dedication. And so when I was made aware that the QR code wasn't actually active. I had to, I was in the middle of a mall in Minnesota and I reactivated the code, so. It's up, so we have the basis for it. I'm sure, as we spoke, it'll be easier with new council to iron out
Yes.
logistics beyond just making a page on our website that we link to, because it is like a proper. If it's gonna be like a proper archival service in a sense, like there's probably more sophisticated ways to go about it, but. It's up and we have the precedent and it works and.
At the town posted who the new council members are that were elected.
Yeah,
That went, I didn't see anything this morning or yes,
or see where,
on the town's website or somewhere.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's on the town council page and we did a
Right.
post of, congratulations. Seat one winner, they'll be sworn in with the two that ran unopposed. Yeah, we have to work it into a.
Yeah, we.
Promotional
I know
ad
the
for
two.
the-
And by the way,
Runoff.
if folks are trying to figure out what we're talking about, the town approved the dedication of Pavilion B to Sergeant Gary Cardenas. And we had a dedication ceremony. And thank you, Larry. You were very super helpful in that dedication ceremony. And because I was running around trying to deal with the mental health task force, I was MC for that, setting up for that. And then I was MC for Gary's thing and setting up for that as well. So it was very well attended. We had, a lot of council members there, pretty much almost all of them. We had Brian Morera, Marilyn Morano,
Tony,
Louis Colazo, Louis
Tony,
Colazo,
Ray
Tony
was
Fernandez, Josh Diegas. I don't think he was there.
Yeah, Josh.
No, Josh was there.
Josh
Josh was there.
Josh and Tony were both there.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was super well attended. It was a nice ceremony, your whole family was there and young Marines did the color guard ceremony. Hey, look, there's your QR code. There it is. I mean, there are some things that we want to do.
Right.
The Legion wants to do to make it a little bit better. We want to fix a sign on the pavilion when we talked about it, it's kind of weird. And we kind of want to put like, Gary's picture on one of the posts, that picture, not this picture,
You got a dark-
that picture. A young, handsome Gary. And then you can do the QR code and then that way people can put a face to the name.
His banner still, we still have a banner,
Youngest
and then we
son
took it down.
said- I talked to him about it. And he said that's easy to do. You can put on a metal. plate,
They can
whatever.
just electroplate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not hard to do, so I'll figure it out.
Your banner's still up there, no one took it down, the banner we put up
Mhm.
on top of the pavilion, it's still there.
Oh, I haven't.
No, I didn't take it down, it's still.
I mean, it's for you if you want it, put it on your car.
You want me to ask Target Maintenance?
Take it home.
I'll bring a ladder up there and take it down for Saturday and you can take it.
Yeah.
Right?
That is.
Okay,
Yeah, so we'll get the American Legion to fund the new sign and the picture plate.
Yeah.
They have it donated to town. Okay,
There's already new council numbers.
all right,
And
so on motions on the table
I'll-
to table item 7D until February of 2025. Once we have new council members and the new mayor and all that stuff. Can I get a second to that motion?
second.
A second from Larry Borman. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Okay. Right, new business, I sent, I think, did you text the email I sent out?
Oh, no.
You didn't? Oh, kind of wanted it part of the, official record. I sent an email to the deputy town manager, which I sent to be printed as part of the agenda because I wanted to be put special part of the public record. Basically requesting that they complete architectural and engineering plans for the Veterans Park Memorial. As you know, we gave them $10,000 a town to do that. And so I'm basically telling them you need to do that. And so the way ahead basically is, I spoke to Tom Fabricio and I talked to Representative Tom Fabricio and Renee Garcia, Senator Renee Garcia, our county commissioner. And they are looking at how they can help us fund these things. fund the building of it, et cetera. And bottom line is they're gonna need the town to have some skin in the game besides the money we've been donating to them. And we'll have to figure out once everybody gets elected and figure out what their budget is and figure out how much skin in the game is. And also they recommended that the American Legion post do a fundraiser. So that's something I'm gonna probably bring up at the American Legion meeting Saturday. That we, authorize some kind of fundraiser for this memorial, et cetera. And then that way we'll probably be able to get more participation from the state and the county. So that's all that's going on there. Okay,
If I could, maybe I can tie this better into, so last meeting, there was discussion on the accounts, the deletion, the creation of certain
Yes.
accounts. Deletion is not on the table. I already knew that was gonna be the answer, but the will of the committee is what it is. So I brought it to our CFO and it just can't happen so we can't just delete an account because that has history, that has, invoices and records that we can't.
oh, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, they're inactive, so it's like,
You're talking about the line items.
yeah.
Line item,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, we can't delete.
Which is, it's, functionally not an issue.
How about adding the
And
account?
then the
to
addition
board?
of the Veterans Park Memorial, I'm still ironing that out with her. I sent, a pretty good memo, I guess, about the history of the account, the race. It's money, the original, $10,000 is money from the 22 race, so there's
Right.
a lot of context that I've had to give finance because it's,
All right.
but that's still on the way.
Okay,
That's my
good.
update on
So
that.
hopefully they'll put that into our, as a line item, so that way
Yeah.
we can.
I mean, and so also, sorry, it's because I know that there is already a Veterans Park administrative, thing that the Parks Department has. So I didn't know if there was any sort of, bloat with an extra Veterans Park Memorial account. So we're ironing that out, but it's gonna, it'll be fine either way.
Maybe all we need to do is have visibility. They already have a line number account under Parks and Rec for veterans. Maybe just make us, put it on our reports, so we have visibility.
Yeah, so in that email or in that discussion with our CFO, I included Jeremy, so we're all, what it looks like going forward, because the intention of the group was to keep funding it in part through the race, I believe. So I think setting up that foundation was something we're on the way to do.
All right, fantastic. Okay, any announcements? That's the schedule of events. Any final thoughts? Motion to adjourn?
So motion, yeah.
One. You're adjourned, time is 19:20.
Get up for life.
They don't know. I can't do that. They don't
You
like.
can put it on your shirt, fucking, like your cap, or your cap. Hey, come on.